this is Knights Black Agents, Session 8, Knights Slow Horses. Tentatively called, for want of a better title at the moment, The Dragon Has Entered the Field of Play. Don't read anything into that, I just needed a title. So, can anyone remember where they were last session?
Well, I was in the kitchen. Oh, sorry, I'm in the game. No idea.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. I know we'd completed we'd come back to the office from the oil rig.
Hello.
Hello.
Apologies for
Hello.
being late.
That's okay. I've just started Craig, and I was just getting. There was some issues with Roll20. There was an outage for a bit.
I'm in Roll20. Okay.
Yeah, it's woken up now. So I've done the introduction, and I was just asking everyone if they could remember where they were, what the end of last session was about.
Are you the Americans? I seem to remember.
Yeah.
We prepared to ambush Shevchenko.
So, you had gone to Vienna to extract this particular chap, Shevchenko, or whatever his name was. You had scouted out. You had scouted out. You had looked into Dr. Engel's medical practice in Vienna because you thought that Shevchenko was had to go there because he had a heart issue.
Yep.
I believe. A CIA team had already entered the theatre, as it were, and had vanished. So, in addition to you guys being in Vienna, Shirley Dand and Marcus Longridge had been posted to Slovakia, and were running point for you.
Okay.
You'd done it. You'd gone and checked out the doctors. You'd go in the back, check the gates, and you walked around the front. You were quite happy with what you had investigated and what you had checked out, and then you decided to go in through the front door. As you walked in through the front door, the receptionist asked you if you were the CIA team, at which point one of you, not mentioning any names, piped up and said, you either said, yes, we are, or no, we're MI5.
No, he definitely said, yes, we are.
Yes, we are. So that is what you can remember from the last session.
Yes.
However, I want everyone to close their eyes, because it is pitch black and quite cold, and you're lying on a cold floor as you kind of come to.
Hold on a minute. Come to. So we were just walking into the surgery.
Yep, and you've
so
woken up on a cold floor.
Okay.
Woken up on a cold stone floor in utter darkness. Really, it's like that. It's not just somebody's put the light out. It's the utter darkness. No, you're not tied up.
So I'll be like, what's going on? Are you there? Are the rest of you there?
Can we hear him?
Is anyone there?
Yep.
Yes, you can hear. Yeah, that's the point of kind of closing your eyes, and then you can hear what's in the headphones.
So we're just in a dark. There's nothing covering. We don't have hoods on our heads or anything.
No, don't have hoods. You don't have hoods on. You're not tied up. There's a cold, kind of dampness to the air.
Mm.
You get a
And
sense that
instead
you might be underground. The floor feels cold, not wet, but it's cold enough to feel a little bit damp. You do hear the distinct dripping as your ears adjust to waking up
Okay. Well,
in a far point. Just a drip, drip.
okay. Well, what have we got on us, guys? Anyone got a light or a
Everybody
Okay, so
smoke.
yeah, we'll
torch?
pass it and see. I mean, are we wearing clothes?
You are wearing clothes. You do not have your guns with you.
Okay. Any source of light? I don't know if we've been. Do we have anything on us?
Make a luck roll. So 1d6. If you get 1, 2, 3, you can have 1d4 mobile phones left on you.
Luck roll, did you say?
Yeah, just do a 50-50 luck roll.
Is that a party luck roll or?
Yeah, party luck roll.
Rolled a 2.
So roll a 1d4, and that's how many mobile phones you have left on you.
2.
So you have 2 mobile phones that have not been removed.
Okay, so I
Lights
fumble
off.
around and see, is the phone still on or has it been turned off?
The phone is on, so you could do percentage rolls, 2 percentage rolls, and that's how much battery power you have left.
Okay.
I'll let somebody else do the rolls. I'm not risking it. Makes you want.
40%.
So one phone has 40%,
and
and
has
one
40.
phone has 46%.
That's probably what. I guess probably a. Well, okay. So, so the first thing is when we kind of messing around with the phone, then the screen will cast light to start with.
Yep. Yep.
So obviously the first thing I'll do is as they sort of, shed light, then I look around to see who else I'm with. So presumably that is
The 4 of you.
River and Louisa and
Mim.
Min. Okay, how the
And
hell did we get here? I'm looking around. So
No idea.
obviously with the screen on, then I'll flip, swipe up and turn on the torch. But I say, guys, we'll keep this. Let's keep this other one, shall we? Because we're going to save the battery.
Yeah,
So I'll just
only
use
have
one
one going at a
phone
time.
to look
Maybe-
around first of all.
Maybe turn the second phone off.
Should we maybe see though if we use the second phone and see if there's any signal or
So
can we
two things you
call-
notice.
can we
There's
call River?
no signal whatsoever.
Okay.
But also, it looks like 24 hours have passed since you went into the reception.
Okay.
We could only have been drugged or something like that. Maybe.
And you got a dull ache in the back of your neck, just where the cerebellum is. Just a real dull ache, not quite a headache, but just a weird. Each of you got the same weird dull ache.
Okay,
we've got
so-
light. We've got light in here now, haven't we?
Yes.
Yeah. Right. I'll say, put my hand to the back of my neck and says, "Anybody else got a bad ache in the back of the neck?"
Yep.
Yeah. Can we use the torch and have a look at the
Yeah.
back of River's neck to see?
Yeah.
Is there any-
Normal neck. It's just an internal dull ache, like some kind of sort of headache, but not a headache.
There's no marks or
Right,
anything. There's no incisions
No.
or anything.
Nope.
Right.
It's almost, could we have been gassed or something like that? Can I try and remember what fucking, because I know we were walking in, but surely I'm just puzzled. I must remember.
You
what
begin
happened.
to talk through what everyone remembers, and you can all kind of get to a point where you stepped in the door, and the receptionist looked up from her computer, and asked you if you were the extraction team, the CIA extraction team, which River said yes, you were, and then it all got a bit
Dark.
hazy and a bit dark. Maybe a sense of not so much drunk, but sort of
Maybe the fact
high-ish.
she gassed
And then
us.
you wake up. Don't know. Gas. Was that quick enough? Would you remember being gassed? You would. You would remember being anaesthetized.
Hmm.
Or the very so you wouldn't remember if you had concussion. You don't remember the minute just before the concussion, so you wouldn't remember being hit over the head. But for an anaesthetist being drugged, if you are you can see it, you would remember that. That doesn't have that same the same cognitive reduction.
It might have had a smell.
You start pinching your nose, trying to get a sense that if there's any smell up your nose. No, can't quite.
No, what I mean
Nothing.
is, I can't. I can't remember.
No, you can't remember
something.
smell.
Yeah.
No.
Well, that's a colorless, odorless gas.
That wouldn't account for the back of the neck thing, though. I mean,
or maybe it's just a headache that it leaves behind.
Yeah, maybe.
Um,
So I guess whilst we're coming to terms with that, then have a look around. And first obvious question is there any indication? Is there any, or how big is the room first of all that we're in?
So you're in a 12-foot by 12-foot cell. It looks like some kind of medieval cell. Bits of straw on the floor.
But there is a door, presumably.
There is an ironclad door with 3 bars, and there's potentially a metal slider the other side.
Right.
The only oddity is in the top left-hand side of the cell is an old could be a Radio Shack or a Tandy speaker.
Okay.
Next to it is a camera.
So it appears as if we're being observed. We can
Silly,
assume we're being observed.
silly question. Does this camera have a red light, and is the red light on?
You can't see a red light.
Mm-hmm.
Shining your torch up it, you can't see a red light.
No. Because we all know. And I said, we all know the red light spells danger. I told you not to go.
But
Okay, well, listen, I'm going to go up to so Struan will go up to the camera, what we think is the camera, and I'm just going to peer into it and go, hello, is there anybody there?
and there's a crackly sound, and a tinny voice comes across the screen, across the speaker, like it's coming out of an old-fashioned loudhailer, like some kind of an old-fashioned intercom system that you've seen in old films.
Mm-hmm.
It's a female voice.
You recognise it?
It's got an English accent, and it has there's a distinct. So it's speaking English, sorry, and the accent is foreign. Could be Austrian, could be German. There's a distinct Germanic twang to it, and it says, "You're not the extraction team."
No, well,
What you are.
we could be an extraction team. We might not be the extraction team that you were expecting.
What you are in trouble. Your slough house has been razed. Your backup has been compromised by a mole. You have no cards to play. So you will listen to me, and maybe we can redeem ourselves. First of all, tell me what you think is going on.
Now, see here, I'm not going to be telling you anything. I don't know who I'm speaking to. If you want to speak to us, then show us. Come and speak to us in person. I'm not going to tell you anything down a camera.
Silence.
Okay. Well, I'll walk away from peering down the camera and keep looking around the room just to see if there's any other obvious means of getting out.
So it's a really old room.
Okay.
There's scratch marks.
Silly question, but did you say whether there was? I'm assuming there is one, but is there a door?
Yes, there's an ironclad door with
Right.
3 bars. It looks like a jail, an old a classic jail cell.
So it's not a solid door; it's a barred door, is it?
No, there are scratch marks in the wall, people's names, languages that look Germanic, maybe Austrian, hard to say. Various dates ranging from the 1700s to last date 1945 that you can see. There's possibly more dates, but you can't see. These are the ones you just kind of are more obvious.
Okay. So, any thoughts, anybody?
I mean, we
Well-
obviously, we want to try and get out of here, don't we?
Yeah.
Sounds stupid, but I think that's
So-
where we're at the moment.
So apart from the door, the camera, and the speaker thing, the cell is, and the writing on the walls, and it's unremarkable. There's no other. I'm going to examine every corner of the.
Just a
thing,
thought.
I don't. But also we could might cover the camera and then have a
Kevin.
closer look at the door.
Yeah.
The speaker. Is there a cable
Yes.
to it?
Possibly, but so the speaker is a maybe a 10-inch by 4-inch box that's sitting on a U-shaped frame, and the U-shaped frame is bolted to the wall. The cable would be behind that, so it's about 7 foot tall. The room.
Right. So the speaker's at the top, and there's definitely a cable coming out the back of the speaker. Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Somebody give us a bolster. Someone lift me.
I'll help him up.
Right. I'm going to lift up and pull the cable out. If they want to talk to us, they can do it in person.
So you pull the cable out,
Yeah. Pull the cable, clearing the wiring.
and there's a kind of you break the cable essentially.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little bit of a spark, and feeling quite smug for yourself, you get back down again.
Mm-hmm.
You can hear a noise at the door.
Okay.
Okay, there's a flash of light as the sliding door is opened, and you wake up on the floor of a cell in utter darkness.
Again.
And a voice comes over a speaker that says, "Don't do that again." And the head, your headache is now it's increased more.
Okay.
Looking
Where
at your
is what?
phone,
Yeah.
you have one phone left, which has got 35%, and another 24 hours have passed.
Oh,
You are
right.
feeling a bit peckish.
What happened?
I guess I give
All you remember is the door opening. There was a flash of light from the outside, and you woke up in a cell.
The same cell?
Different cell because it says different speaker and it's on a different side.
This
I wonder how many
is
cells they've got.
rather strange.
I wonder how many cells they've got. Well, it's worth a try.
Yeah, let's
And
not
this
do
is-
that again.
Right.
So, should we try this one more time? You are in trouble. Your slough house has been razed. Your backup has been compromised by a mole. You have no cards to play. That includes breaking speakers. So you will listen. Now this is a bit more. This is less tinny. This speaker must be a newer
There's
one.
no, obviously a new one, yeah.
So you will listen to me, and maybe we can redeem ourselves. First of all, tell me what you think is going on.
Anybody like to inform them?
You see, when you say something like that, you see, it gives me the thought that maybe that you don't know what's going on either.
Oh, I know what's going on.
Well, why do you need us to tell you then?
I want to see if you know how much of what's going on.
If you know as much as you think you do, then you know that we're not supposed to just tell you stuff, right? You know that we were MI5, so you can't really expect us just to say something to you without knowing who you are. That's not the way the game works, is it?
But we're not playing your game. We're not playing your rules. We're playing by a different set of rules.
I didn't say you play it by our rules, Lovey. I said this is how the game is played, isn't it?
It is not
How
played.
do we know? How do we know that you are in a position that you are, who you are implying to be? You're not going to get anything out of us. I'm sorry, but you can keep knocking us out and you can keep changing cells, but that isn't going to change until you come and talk to us.
I'm afraid that won't happen until I've established what you think is going on. Because what I think is going on, what I know is going on, and what you think might be going on.
Got ya. He didn't actually
Have
say
you?
that. But so I'll just say Struan will say, well, I hate to say it, goodness knows I'm not, I'm not the hero type. He says, but I'm hoping you've got a lot of other cells because I, for one, I'm not going to be telling you nothing. Isn't that right? Isn't that right, fellas? And Louisa.
Yeah.
Struan Loy.
For all we know,
River
this could be
Phoenix.
Jackson Lamb playing a trick on us, couldn't it?
Oh,
And he's wanting us to spill our guts.
to be
You're
honest,
Jackson Lamb. You're Miss Cavendish. Not Cavendish. Standish. And the rather annoying Mr. Hoy.
And Struan goes, well, to be fair, I'll give you that one.
Let's just leave it at that.
Oh.
But you, Struan, you, River, you, Mim, and you, Louisa, are in almost an irredeemable state. There are some options for you, but not many.
What would that state be?
One does not simply kill a major power and expect no repercussions.
And who would that major power be? Names.
I think you know.
Who are you?
But you see, again, there you are again, talking as if you know stuff, but you're not actually telling us anything. So why are you expecting us to tell you? That's not how it works.
What cards do you think you have to play?
I'm not saying we have any cards. The only cards we've got is us not telling you anything.
Point.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm not arguing with the fact that you're in charge here. We're obviously in your custody, but as I say, we've all been in this game long enough that we know that we're not going to be giving you anything away until we know who we're talking to. And I'll walk away from the. I'll walk away and go and sit down on the. Is there a cot or something? Did you say?
No, this is floor.
So I'll just go and sulk off and go and sit in the opposite corner. I think at this point, I hope you guys get what I'm getting at. Is all of this? Oh well, you're in real trouble. You need to tell us that. That's not how spies work, right? So at least that's where I'm coming from. I think I'm going to not cooperate with this nameless voice until we know more about who it is.
Yep, I don't know. Get that? I totally agree.
Certainly we
You
can't.
can hear that the so to activate the speaker, you'd push down on the microphone and then talk into it. So there's a sense that the button is still on.
Yeah.
So you're getting you're getting mumblings. You can't quite
It sounds
hear.
like almost like they're discussing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she says, "Okay, we have decided that we'll just let you starve to death."
I mean, I'm okay. I'm not going to obviously. What should we could say to that?
Big mac and fries.
Then can we have some water?
No response.
Who's up for some cannibalism?
Yes. Well,
So there is the walls are damp enough to be able to lick water off the walls, and there's the odd bit of algae, so you could survive 3 to 5 days. Maybe you could possibly survive 30 days if you were just licking the water carefully.
do we think they can hear us all the time? Well,
I think we have to assume that.
Yeah, it's hard to. You can't see any microphones, but you don't know. So keep an eye.
Hard to. Yeah. So this one doesn't want to try and formulate any plans because verbally, because obviously they'll be hearing everything we discuss. So
You are feeling thirsty and hungry. 48 hours have passed since you went to the reception.
Well, yeah. Honestly, I'm not sure what I know about this situation.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, you're right. What can we tell them? So we went there looking for this guy that we were.
I feel we're gonna have to say
So
something.
you could take it a step back and go and discuss the vagaries of vampires. Going to the oil rig, blowing up the oil rig, killing Varney, or releasing Varney. The woman in the so your options, I guess, would be either play it straight from a purely non-vampire spy perspective, or just go the other way and just tell them just the vampire stuff and see which one works. If you just tell them the vampire stuff and they don't want to hear that stuff and they don't know anything about it, they'll just be going, don't talk shit, tell us about your mission.
Right.
That's true.
If you tell them just the spy stuff, then you are automatically compromising yourself immediately. Whereas the vampire stuff, you can simply go, well, you had me in a shit cell in a dungeon somewhere, so fuck you. I was telling you about vampires and aliens and shit like that.
Yeah, I guess we could. I mean, okay. So I tell you what. So here's how I see it probably playing out. So let's assume. So it will probably drag on for a few more hours because obviously, like you say, we've been there for a while, and there will come a point where we'll probably be like, you know what, screw this. You know, we're all hungry. And so.
I mean, the thing is, I'm more into.
Outright's leg is looking quite tasty.
I must admit, I'm curious as to what they mean, what they meant about the about Slough House. See if we can find out anything more about, because obviously they're not.
And they knew the names.
Yeah.
But then that's not necessarily like super hard information to come by. Because certainly anybody with any knowledge of MI5 would probably have heard of Jackson Lamb and may very well know about Slough House and, you know, the reputation of Slough House.
The voice told you about Slough House.
Yeah.
And mentioned Jackson Lamb, or did you mention Jackson Lamb?
No, they mentioned.
No, they did.
They mentioned.
They did.
Jackson. And
Standish and Ho, and also each of your names, so they know who you are and who Slough House is.
Yeah.
But again, that's not difficult. I mean, assuming they're on the level that we operate on, that's not going to be difficult for them to find out.
Exactly. So that in itself doesn't suggest any sort of great knowledge. It just means that they've done their homework. And as I say, anybody with a passing knowledge of MI5 would probably know, or not a passing knowledge, but like a working knowledge would maybe know about Slough House. So again, I'm not entirely convinced that is, means that they've. This is what I'm saying about being so reluctant to say anything specific because they're just fishing for information, basically, or could be. But then, as you say, I guess what we'll probably like let it play out for a couple more hours until we begin to get really hungry, and then we're like, you know what, screw this. We don't get paid enough for this crap.
We could say we're ghost hunters.
I mean, we could tell them about what happened on the oil rig, because that wouldn't.
That's the thing. You could either go with straight
vampire stuff, isn't it? That's not.
Yes, you could go straight spy stuff or straight vampire supernatural stuff, and see which one they bite on. The vampire stuff isn't compromising MI5 because you could get. There's an argument to say, we just we were hungry, so we thought, fuck them. If you're going to try and kill us, then we'll just claim it's vampires and aliens and Men in Black, because fuck you.
Yeah, that's actually quite a good. Yeah, that's good. So you're right. So what we could do is we could as I say, we hang it out for a bit, and then we're like, okay, you want to know what we know? Okay, so here's what we know. We went to a house in London. We were sent to a house in London. We came across a person who claimed they were, several hundred years old and were basically a vampire. We went to an oil rig that was then. We found that somebody had been experimenting with vampires, and that trail has led us here. And all of that is kind of conspiracy theory,
Sounds like horseshit to me.
And you say so that's what we know. That's what's brought us here.
So you can say exactly that, or paraphrase everything that's happened.
Essentially paraphrase what has happened so far. But basically, as you say, we lean into the vampire side. Well, I say lean into it. We just say, look, we've seen some weird stuff. We came across this person who claimed they were, 100 years old and several hundred years old, and we've and we've seen these things on the oil rig being experimented on by somebody, and it all looks pretty real, and that's.
So you're going through this, and you talk about the oil rig and the what Varney told you about the strains of vampires, and there's laughter, and the voice says, "No, that's not correct."
Listen, you asked us to tell us what we knew, and that's what's happened. So that's what we know. So we've cooperated. Now, Would it be too
Oh.
much? Would it be too much to ask for maybe a drink of water and something to eat? Maybe.
In a moment, you suggest there are 3 main strains of, shall we call them vampires? Not quite correct. Although calling Varney a main strain is stretching it. However, you men, totally ignores Louisa. You men always think it's about you. It's not. Did you know there's in fact 4 strains of vampires?
No.
Varney was the last of the supernatural magical vampires who you destroyed on the oil rig. I'm sure you've heard of Dracula.
Yes.
Fairy tales.
And then there's the weird strain of vampires called the Danube strain. And of course, the 4th one.
Which is?
The biblical one, Lilith, the origin of the female vampires. Bethany, Carmilla.
Lilith, the
I'll
wife
whisper
of.
to the other two and go, I think this person thinks this stuff's all real, you know.
Does seem that way. Lilith was the wife of Adam before Eve, or something like that.
Yes. Yeah. In the Gnostics, Lilith is pitched as Adam's first wife, who was made from clay, as was Adam. And when she became disobedient and wouldn't do what Adam told her, she was cast out and evolved into the mother of demons in the same way that God's wife, Asherah, evolved into the snake and then eventually was written out of the timeline entirely, like some bad DC reboot. So she is supposed to be the mother of demons in a biblical sense. So
That's
you destroyed Varney.
Do we get any sort of points for that?
You took a number of vials of the strains.
We took some vials.
How do you know
Yes. One does not simply kill a major power and expect nobody to hear about it.
that? The major power being Varney?
Less Varney, more Hugh Draper.
Oh.
Magic has a way of finding itself. So we have a common problem.
See, I have a question, says Struan. It seems to me you seem to know more about what's going on than what we do. So I don't really understand why you're holding us here or what you need us for.
I need you to do something for me.
And there's the cat.
And for yourselves.
Okay, now we're interested.
So I will put some of my cards on the table.
We haven't got any though, remember?
You do not have any. I have enough. There is an object that has been hidden that another of the major powers is looking for. And they are getting closer.
And what would this object be?
There is a body encased in amber, buried in Romania.
You're not going to tell us this is Dracula, are you?
Oh dear God, no, no, no. He wants the body. I will tell you who the body in amber is, although I don't expect you to know or have heard of the name. It
Okay.
is Ferenc Ferenzi, sometimes called Father. His head, the physical manifestation of the Danube strain, I have.
Ferenc Benzi. What did you
Yep.
say?
Ferenc. Ferenc.
Yep.
Ferenczzy. He is sometimes called Faethor, Father.
And where might we find this? You said Romania. Can you be more specific?
It is in. I'll write it down. Cactrice Castle.
Do you know where in the castle we would find the body?
So, Cactrice Castle, it overlooks the river Vahar. It's a tributary of the Danube. It was Countess Bethany's old castle.
And would this body be in a tomb or just buried somewhere?
The body is, in fact, in a coffin, encased in amber, in a hidden chamber. To incentivize you even more to go and do this, your friend, is it Shirley Dander? She's unconscious, tied on top of the coffin. So she has,
Oh, she's not going to like that when she wakes up.
if she wakes up, you don't have much time. You need to get the coffin and destroy the skull, or at the very least remove it from the field of play, because unfortunately for all of us, the dragon has entered the field of play.
You mean metaphorically?
Of course. Instructions are on the table with your equipment in the main room. Line goes dead, and there's a click on the door.
Phew. I'm going to be first out. Come on, guys.
Well,
Okay, we'll
that
go
was
and check.
fun.
Can we get out of the cell? But presumably we can.
Open the door gingerly, look around.
There's
this?
a kind of a plastic box sitting over the lock that was used to unlock the door remotely.
Oh,
On the floor around the door, there are drawn in chalk and what looks like blood, some kind of weird arcane symbols.
Mhm.
On the threshold of the door.
We take photos.
Yeah,
Yes,
is
Yep.
this phone a camera phone or
Yes, it's an iPhone.
is it one of, I
Whatever.
forgot to ask, is it one of our
It,
phones? Or
it is one of your phones.
Okay, so
It
we'll
was
take,
just stuffed in your an inside pocket of an inside pocket, which is why it wasn't picked up.
so we'll take some pictures to make sure we have a good image of this iconography. And obviously we'll do a search of the wider building. So I presume if we can get out of the cell now, we'll have a look and, like I say, check the. I mean, I'm assuming there's not going to be anybody left around, but I guess we should check that. Just
No,
to be sure.
you do find another cell with what you assume is the CIA extraction team.
Oh, are they dead?
Dead.
Okay. Oh well, that's unfortunate. But obviously, have they got any equipment on them?
No.
Okay, so we do a search of the building. I mean, I guess, and see if we turn anything up. Do we find any of our possessions, weapons, anything like
Yes,
that?
you find a table with all of your equipment on. Each of the phones are fully charged but turned off. And you find a map. And the map shows Catrice Castle. Now you can
Okay.
Google this. It overlooks the river
How do you spell Catrice?
Cachice. Cachice.
Right, so we say that again. C-A. Yeah.
Cachice.
Oh, Katica Castle in
Actors.
Slovakia.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Castle ruin in Slovakia next to the village of Katish. Stands on a hill fetching rare plants and has been declared a national nature reserve. That's obviously current, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
But it was Countess Bathany's castle.
Apparently built in the 13th century by Casimir of Hunt Poznan. So, just so you know. And this is the location. Now I see. So this was used as the location for Count Orlok's castle in Nosferatu.
Mm-hmm.
Okie doke.
I thought it was Bathany's castle as well.
It said it was also used as castle ruins in Dragonheart. Castle of the Blood Countess episode of the ABC show The Scariest Places on Earth. And you're right, yes, Bathory, yeah.
It's a cell, isn't it? It wasn't where she was locked up, and it belonged to Elizabeth Bathory.
Right, cool.
That's not too far away from where you currently are. You're in. No, where are you? You're in Vienna.
Oh, interesting. So, yeah, that's going to be my next question. So, presumably, we obviously we get all of our gear and we kind of figure out. It'll take us some time to figure out where we are.
So you are in Castle Schloss.
Well, hang on a minute. If we've got it, where you got, what you're talking about?
So you are in Schloss Karnstein. Karnstien.
Right. So I just thought you was the what was it? One? Well, no, the old one. Yeah. I was just going to say that if we've got the phones, we'll have GPS that should tell us where we are.
Yep. So you are in Schloss Karnstein.
Yeah.
Karstien, which
Yeah.
is in Vienna.
Hmm.
Where is it in Vienna? Where's it gone? It's moved. Jutting out from the east face of the Lichtenberg, built in 1185 by the Knights Hospitaller, Schloss Maxtenstrom became a royal Habsburg fortress managed by the Counts of Purgstall during the Turkish invasion of the 16th and 17th century. When the Purgstall line became extinct in 1835, the Schloss lay vacant. It was then bought and renamed Karnstein. It's perched on a crag above the Pols Valley, jutting out from the east face of the Lichtenberg.
It occurs to me that I want to try and make contact with Slough House, so I'm going to try and call once we're sort of out. I want to try and call whoever. I guess probably Roddy's probably the most obvious choice initially, just to see whether we can, because you know what this person had said about. So in other words, is there any sign? Yeah, is there any contact with Slough House possible?
So you ring, you get a signal, and it just rings and rings and rings and rings.
Okay, I'll report back. Sorry.
However, after after you turn the phones on, after a couple of minutes, you do get a encrypted message that says let's find the right page. I wrote it on. Slough House compromised, sold out by Marcus.
Oh, that's not good. That would explain why Shirley might be tied on top of a box then.
Sold out by Marcus.
Gone swimming below the dolphins.
Okay. Do we have any idea what that? Presumably that's a
Submarine.
coded reference that would mean something to us.
Submarine.
Not off the top of your head.
Okay. Park that one for now then. I made a joke.
My first thought was some actually literally going underwater somewhere. Perhaps that's naive. Right.
So I guess so we can't. So it sounds as if this person, whoever they were, was telling the truth then, to some degree. So we're kind of on our own here, aren't we? But the thing is, if we know that it sounds as if Shirley's in trouble, then I guess we don't have much choice but to go and try and go to this place, right? Because if nothing else, if we know she's in trouble, then we should probably go and try and help her.
Yep.
Regardless of what the truth of this mission is, but as our interests align, so in other words, our colleague is potentially in danger, and this is where we've been told to go. We may as well go and go do it.
Well, look, the whole Slough House seems like it's compromised, so all bets are off.
Yeah, agreed.
In a way,
there is a Land Rover 110 out the front. It's an older vehicle. There is a set of keys on the table. The tank is full. You only have your own. There's no sat nav in it. Half effectively. Yeah. So you just need to work out how long it is going to take to drive from Catrice Castle no, sorry, from Castle Karnstein to Catrice Castle
Okay, we could probably
using your Google Earth, Google
Yeah.
Maps.
Okay. But that map, can we navigate using that map?
It's,
Just,
you don't know where you are. The map's not. There is a map, but it's not as good as it
gotcha.
as it
Yeah.
could be.
Need to get on the main road.
okay. So how do you spell Castle Karnstein?
K. Where's it gone?
Because Karnstein says
KAR.
it's in Slovakia.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on a minute. I thought we were in Austria though.
You were in Vienna.
Ah, okay. Right. Okay. So it's 4 hours 20 minutes, 357 kilometers, according to Google Maps. Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
So yeah, 4 or 5 hours.
Put it 5 hours
Yeah.
to make it because you're driving in an area you have no idea anything about.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So your phones are now all on.
Mhm.
Does anyone want to roll a tradecraft?
I think we'll have to, won't we? Because yeah, I'll do that. So I've got. So my tradecraft. Oh, hello, where's me? So I've only got a tradecraft of 1, but I mean I'm willing to use
Difficulty
it.
is 3. The difficulty is 3.
So it's 1d6, isn't it?
Mhm.
Hold on. A 5.
Yep. Nope. Does anyone else want to have a go with tradecraft?
Well, I'll give it a go. I'm just going to find the.
Possibly. Oh, there it's.
It's down at the bottom of the end. Is it
Yeah.
I think it's interpersonal, isn't it?
Yeah, I've got 1. So
I've got 2. So what's
I'll try D6 and I'll add the 1. Why not?
Cool. Okay. So you know that having the phones on means that you can be traced.
Yep.
However, you do need to know where you're going, so you can, using tradecraft, open the phone, get your exact location, get where you're going to, without running a trace, without actually running it off Google Maps.
Well, I think.
Find that on the map, and then turn your phones off, so you know where you're going, where you are, where you're going to. But using the paper map, but just using that first instance, and then obviously turn your phones off so they can't be traced.
Mhm. Yeah, so we even draw on the map. Yeah.
Yeah.
Highlight where we need to go on the map.
And with tradecraft, because there's no map reading skill, so we'll call it tradecraft. You are able to locate the castle. So before you leave, is there anything you have all the equipment you had when you started the adventure, as it were? Is there anything you want to try and get before driving 4 or 5 hours?
Some food.
Yeah, we haven't eaten for a while, so a burger. Yeah.
Probably.
Okay, so
yeah.
in the kitchens, in addition to so you look in the freezers, and there's about 4 bodies hanging up.
Yeah.
All of a sudden,
down.
my appetite is not what it was.
But there is in a smaller freezer some what you could describe as normal food.
In a
To
freezer.
be honest with you, I'd probably rather just go to some. I'd probably just
Yeah.
having searched this
second
place for anything useful. I think we just get out there and we just stop at, because again, we're not, we need to. We'll just stop at a service station or whatever and get some food.
Yep.
I don't want to hang around here any longer than I think is necessary. And
Okay, so
especially not with dead bodies. Or at least dead bodies that we didn't have anything to do with, if that makes sense.
Yep. So you head out of the castle and start driving towards your final location of Cachis
Is
Castle.
it possible, if we stop, by the way, for food, what we'll try and do is, having some vague effort to be spy-like, is if we try and find a place that isn't heavily surveilled, because I know that obviously Europe generally is not as much covered by cameras as the UK, but if you go to a service station, it's likely to have cameras on the forecourt. So perhaps if we just stop in a town or village and just find a supermarket or something and try and avoid where possible cameras, if that makes sense. So we'll need something to eat, but rather than, if we walk into the first service station we find, we'll probably end up being flagged on the camera straight away. So it probably was worth waiting a little while. Does that make sense to you,
Okay, so
chaps?
Yeah.
using a degree of stealth, then you are, and tradecraft, you are attempting to evade the authorities.
As much as possible, because we don't know whether, I guess ultimately we don't know whether we're in trouble with the authorities or whether who these people are who are sent on this mission. But it would seem to be prudent to try and keep on the down low if we can, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So the other thing you could do is buy a burner phone.
Yeah, maybe that's an option. Would our Slough House phones, though, the phones that we have, would they not have some encryption on them?
Yes, they would be encrypted, but
it's possible if Slough House has been compromised, then.
With the right technology, you could locate them. But you need to know, obviously, MI5 phones are going to be slightly harder to locate. Slough House will be able to find them. Roddy will be able to find you, but you probably want to only turn the phones on as and when you feel you need them. But have a burner phone that works.
Yeah, so we find a supermarket, or like something hopefully a bit more discreet than a main chain garage, which is likely to have surveillance cameras.
You find an unrecognisable supermarket and garage. Buy food, buy milk, buy drinks, and buy a burner phone. Burner phone would be the equivalent of I don't know, an iPhone 10, 11.
It'll be cheap.
So yeah, cheap and cheerful. Maybe a Pixel, something.
Basic probably is better rather than cheap.
Yeah, it's whether you want to be able to use the internet on the phone or just a phone to make phone calls.
I guess we.
Is a thing. We get one phone that we use use for internet. The rest of them we just use for phones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say one of each.
I guess it also depends how covert we want to be, because again, do we go to the trouble of, we need the internet? Do we go find internet cafe? I mean, that all sounds like a lot of hassle. I think speed is probably more of the essence here, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So I think you're right. We get a one internet capable cheap phone. It'd probably be an Android phone, wouldn't it? If it's if it's a supermarket.
And then we just and then we just get basic phones for everybody else.
Yeah. Get a couple of burner phones. We've got some means of communication, I guess.
It takes us a while to change the language on the
Yeah.
Oh yeah, good point. Yeah, unless anyone
It's possible that
Slovakian.
Struan cannot change the language. Mim certainly. It's you've got as you change your ringtone, it turns out to be a Coldplay song.
It's not a fucking Oasis song.
No, no. Is it in the car? Was it is it Clocks? What's the Coldplay playing?
Yeah, that was the tune, wasn't it? That was stuck on the.
Yeah. Was it Clocks? I
Yeah,
can't remember.
Clocks,
But
yeah, that is a Coldplay tune.
yeah, they all sound the same. So you head out. You have everything you think you need, and you start driving. 5 hours is a really long way if you're in a rush.
Also, and it sounds really obvious as well, but we'll be cautious to drive within speed limit. All of that
on the right side of the road.
Yeah, I mean, who's probably the most competent at this? Do you know what? Ironically, it's probably Struan, because he's probably been on holiday with his family, isn't he? They probably go to the south of France on holiday, so actually he's probably
for safe driving, probably.
Yeah, probably more competent than River's probably quicker.
For
sure,
he's 20 miles under this. Yeah,
Struan's definitely less obtrusive.
Cautious, I think. Probably cautious is
there you
probably
go.
the
That's
best
the word I'm looking for.
slow. 10 hours past. No, so
that's why it's called slow horses, isn't it?
A bit of a montage of you bouncing around shitty roads. I don't know. They might be the best roads in the world. I've never been there, but we're going to say they're shitty roads, B roads, backtracks, just trying to avoid being seen.
Yeah.
You stop a couple of times to switch over number plates from other cars, just so you could, whilst time is of the essence, you still don't want to get burnt out. And as
I say, we've made a decision to try and avoid, or to take basic steps to avoid obvious detection.
Yeah, and you're doing your best. Time will tell. After after 5.5 hours, it's getting quite late, and you turn the corner, and the sign that you catch some of the words, but certainly CACHTICE, a form of that is on the sign. It's possible it says Castle Catrice or whatever the Slovakian Romanian is for that, but you do get a sense that you are here. Looking up the drive, there is in the distance a spark of lightning that illuminates the sky, which now begins to rain. And you catch a glimpse of a ruined castle in the mists at the top of the hill, in the rain, in the dark.
Okay.
This could be it.
Yeah. What, you mean the creepy castle on the hill? Yeah, that looks like it.
Whatever gives you that idea.
I was going to say, I might be wrong, but I think this could be the place.
Looking at your watch, it says 11:58. You have 2 minutes to the witching hour.
I mean, if we're taking this vampire thing seriously,
but also that side, Shirley's been tied here for 48, almost 55 hours.
Yeah, we need to get in there like quick.
Yeah.
So
okay, should be on a come down by now.
Yeah, good point. I'd forgotten about that. I've been watching some of the episodes again this week. So
I watched episode 1 of the new season.
I haven't seen it yet because my wife killed me.
Watched it this morning. It's everything that I read in the book is there.
So is it good?
Yes. Cole turns up briefly, and there's no. He's just there, and he screams when something happens, but there's no explanation who he is. It's great. which is just it's quite good. Quite good. The fact that this extra character is just sitting in the background with his hood on. That he kind of did that in the book.
So interestingly, and again, I know this is a diversion from the game, but I guess it is relevant. Because I was reading this week that because I know that Mick Herron was at something in Texas, some literary con or something.
Yeah.
So apparently he's been saying that or rather the producer of Slow Horses has said he's interested in making a TV version of the novel that's basically Jackson Lamb's backstory. Right? There's one of the novels is the backstory.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what it's called, but it's like Jackson Lamb's origin story, as he put it.
Yeah.
But that Kyle character also is features in a novel which tells his sort of backstory, and it's like a novella. And the actor was saying that he'd be interested in doing that if they decided to do it. So could be that the slow horsey verse or whatever you want to call it is becoming a thing. So
yeah. I mean, I'm up to 2 books past the current series, I think.
Yeah.
It's excellent. It is quite good. Quite good. The books are really good.
I'm going to take a couple away with me on holiday, and I'm going to start reading them.
The series, I really enjoy the series. Are the books better?
Yes. So the books are set when he wrote them. So there's Brexit in there, and it's written 10 years ago. 2016. Yeah, so 2016 is one element. So there's bits in there that is more relevant in the past, as it were. But yes, it's good. Spook Street. So I did Spook Street, London Rules, Joe Country. Yeah, I've done Joe Country. So I'm on book 7 then, actually.
Wow.
They're only 250 pages each, give or take.
Really?
Yeah, it's not that. Yeah, or at least on the reedy thing. The e-reader, it says about 250 odd pages.
Oh, I've actually got the physical, like the print copies of the first 2 at least. So that's the ones I'm.
Yeah, I thoroughly recommend it. They're really good. I'm that's why. Yeah, it's I quite like Cole when he's in it. He turns it Cole. He's an interesting character. But anyway, what we do? We're driving along, and you reach the castle. The castle, and you can see into the distance a castle, a ruin, and it is close to the witching hour. So, what is it you proposed to do?
Okay, so from the picture, the castle is up on a ridge, right? It's up on a hill.
Yeah, on a hill. There's a
path up to the castle.
Yeah, it's essentially a what can be described as Slovakia's national heritage site. Right. So there's whatever. Oh, full moon. Yes, we'll have a full moon. Full moon in the rain. There's a storm. It couldn't get any more creepy. Oh yes, there's vampires. Yes. Every cliche has just happened. It's almost like you're waiting to see bats and the howl of a wolf in the distance. Which, as you open the doors in the rain, you do hear that. None of you got raincoats. Yes, it's overly saturated with cliches. It's almost a joke.
The only thing missing is the mystery machine.
Yes. Which would be hilarious to have a Slovakian mystery machine. Well, we passed this multicolored van, couldn't understand what was written on it. Oh, let's Google it. Anyway, so
any lights on? Sorry, any lights on?
No. No, you have got
obvious lights or
there's a dim glow which you assume is some kind of solar light over a sign. As you get closer, the lightning's striking away, and it's flashed up with lightning. The car headlights shine another sign as you get closer with a solar power pack and a light shining the sign, and it says in Slovakian, in essence, Castle Catrice, home of, and there's an image of a woman. There's an image of Orlok. So it kind of you kind of get the sense of the text essentially says this is home of
Filming
Bethany.
location for these.
Filming location,
These
Orlok
films
and
have been
stuff.
filmed here,
Yeah, but there's a flash of light, and you see Orlok's face, just loom up in the distance because it's quite a big picture, which is kind of like, oh shit, vampire. And then you this ruin of Catrice Castle.
Okay, well, I guess we'll. Have we got any? So we've got guns. Have we got anything that would? Looking in the car, have a route
Yep.
through the car and see. Especially an old Land Rover is likely to have a jack and a tyre iron. All that gubbins in the back.
Even a torch,
Is that reasonable to assume?
So, within reason, you can have everything that you might expect to find in the back of a Land Rover: a jack, a tyre iron, a set of jump leads, torch.
Not military Land Rover, is it?
No. So yes, torch in the glove compartment. Anything that you think you might want that you could conceivably, without stretching incredulity, or without stretching the idea, that you might find in a Land Rover, you can find. So there will be 50 foot of rope around the tow hitch at the front. There'll be a tow bar, spare tire, a jerry can full of
Fuel.
Fuel. Now, if you roll 1d6, 1 to 3 it's diesel, 4 to 6 it's petrol.
I'll let someone else do that.
Yeah, hang on, let me do it. I haven't done anything this evening yet.
1 to 3 it is diesel.
And I got a 6, which is probably
No, petrol is what we want. We don't want diesel. We want petrol.
No, petrol's easier to burn.
Yeah, so that's good.
Yep. Do you have? Yeah. So it's a full, what are they? 5 gallon, big green jerry can.
Yeah,
5 gallon petrol.
That's good. So yeah, great. So we'll grab that. We'll grab it, and like I say, we'll take tyre irons and things that would be useful because, again, if you believe in vampire mythology, then something like that might be more useful. You could whack them around the head with it, whereas if you shoot it, bullets might not hurt it. So
yeah,
I think we'll take one of those. You take that with us, take the petrol, and then we'll just head up the hill as quietly as possible.
So you're going to leave the vehicle down and then walk up.
Yeah, I mean, we've got no choice really, have we? We've got to, like you said, we've got to really get up there as quick as we can. I think that's fair to say.
We could drive up further, or
I mean, we could. Although is it a footpath or is it a driveway?
It's a drive. It's a road all the way up.
We can drive up. Yeah, we can drive up. I mean, again, ultimately, I don't know if there's much benefit in us being too stealthy here because, they're going to know we're there sooner or later. So maybe maybe that's right. Maybe we just drive up.
Okay, so you find yourselves parked outside of the ruins of the castle. There's a couple of towers, and where's the image gone? And it looks like a classic ruined castle.
Yep.
Okay. So
there's no vehicles. The only real information that you were told was that Shirley's tied up in a cell on top of a coffin.
Do you reckon if it's a cell, it's likely to be lower levels, right? Below ground, probably.
Yes,
It's like a dungeon or
that
whatever.
seems.
So I guess we look for a stairwell leading down.
Yep. So you need to make search rolls. So you are some kind of search.
I'm just looking.
Locate, find. Yeah, I'm gonna make you roll for this, right?
So things you can do. We have. I mean, you could make it in athletics. Because you have a notice. There's a notice skill for finding things. It could be you could make it athletics, as in, or there's infiltration or
Yeah.
athletics. Athletics would be as in you're physically being careful. So in other words, you're not tripping over your feet or anything. I've got the book here, but I'm not. Let me just quickly. I don't know.
Let's go with athletics because you're essentially going to be clambering around trying to find what looks like a hidden chamber.
That makes sense to me.
So everyone needs to make one of these rolls.
So what do we need to roll?
So it's going to be a 5.
Athletics, yeah.
So the difficulty is 5
So
because you're looking for
and
a
we can
hidden
we can
chamber.
spend points from this total, right?
Yes. Yep.
So I'm going to spend 2 points from. I've got an athletics of 4.
Yep.
So I'm going to spend 2. So if I make my D6 roll and then I add 2 to it, basically.
Yeah. So essentially, you can spend about an hour clambering around under rocks.
Oh, there we go. So I got a 6.
So you after an hour, Struan finds it.
More to the point, Struan doesn't fall on his arse. Is more what I was worried about, to be fair.
Yep. And it's located in you kind of find it, but then you take a step back and realize actually it's quite obvious because there's muddy footprints and what looks like a stone's been moved out of the way. But because you are looking for a hidden chamber, then you realize actually this is it. So it takes a couple of you to move the stone out of the way, which makes you think either Marcus had help or he forced Shirley to move the thing with him, or he's stronger than you think.
Oh, that doesn't bode well, does it?
No. So, find a set of steps going down into the darkness, and there's another bolt of lightning that hits the top of one of the towers, and there's a spark, a flash as it hits the lightning conductor and shoots down the side of the tower, illuminating the whole thing as if it's daylight, which scares the shit out of everyone.
And the thunder probably echoes on like a lot longer.
Yeah, it's really overdoing it. It's almost as if it's some GM bullshit.
It's like
I can't imagine that's the case.
No. So you see these steps going down into the darkness. Who's I don't need a marching order, but who's effectively going in first with the torch?
Well,
I suppose that's going to be me, is what everybody's going to try and say.
Well, River is the one who likes to play the hero, isn't he?
Yeah, but he just doesn't like playing the dead hero.
Yeah, well, I'm not too bad hand to hand.
Okay. You go first then.
I'll lead the way with the torch.
God, that's the most un-River thing I've ever heard.
See, the torch you've got is one of those plastic World War II kind of angled torches, like a signal torch. Quite shit, really. It hasn't got the
It's not one of those friction ones, is it? One where you've got to pump it with your hand to keep it lit.
No. This is an old fashioned. It takes 2 D cells. It's like an angled little clip, and you can clip on your jacket. Crap, they overtook all the. Anyway, so you're getting some illumination, not a fantastic amount. You sweep your arm round with a torch, and then you find at the bottom of the stairs, just to the left, an archway. It's odd. The stairs go down, and rather than going straight on, it ends in a wall. But the there's an archway on the left, but it feels like there should be an archway in front. The architecture is just a bit squiff, and then as you turn, you realise actually this archway has been cut in. So it's probable there was a doorway in front of you, but they've gone in the side. And in stepping into the side, you notice a couple of things. Quite an elaborate. So in the centre of the room, Shirley is tied to a coffin. But looking around the room, there's rather elaborate construction, bricked up arches, sweep around the room. But the closer you look on the right-hand side, it looks a bit odd. So the arch. So if you looked at old cellars of castles, you have the pillars, and then in between the pillars you've got stonework. But the pillars are arched, but the end piece, it almost as if the wall's been bricked up.
So there could be
that
space.
looks a bit odd. Bricked up. Could be space. And at the bottom there are a series of holes big enough for a rat to go through. I'm not suggesting there's rats in the walls. I'm just saying
there's a hole big enough to get a rat to go through.
Yeah.
Just giving an indication of the size of the holes.
Yes.
Rats in the walls, you say? Surely not.
And there's a cat. No, there's not a cat. No, there's not a cat. Definitely not a cat. So Shirley is tied to an old coffin, really big oak coffin.
Is she conscious that we? As far as
she's unconscious.
And the coffin is. So when you say it's an oak coffin, so is it like is it a typical? I take it it's probably a more ornate, right? So it's probably a bigger,
ornate. It's a 7-foot coffin. No, it's an 8-foot coffin containing, a person up to 7.5 foot tall, because obviously you've got a thickness of the wood and whatnot.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, it's not rush in. I don't know. Just suspicious. Just make sure this room is safe.
Yeah, I guess we'll do again, as you said, we'll make an effort to be like professional and kind of look around the room, check the corners, check also the ceilings as well. Look up, shine the torch around, because we don't want any vampires having a little nap, hanging upside down by their feet from the rafters, do we?
No, we've all seen Lost Boys. So you shine your torch around, and the torch is just touching the walls. It's that bad. You find you've got more. The torch on your mobile phone is better. And the torch, the battery the light starts to fade. So you've got to shake the torch to get the power.
Just out of interest, are there any? Given that this is a castle, is there any like braziers in the walls, torches in the walls, anything like that we could maybe light? So I mean, obviously, I would imagine there wouldn't be anything in them combustible, but we could maybe rip up some rags or something and set fire to them if there's something to hold them. If that makes sense.
No.
Okay. Is she tied up in any unusual way, or do we just need to untie her? There's not some sort of trap or something in the way that she's been tied up.
So she's been tied up with what looks like they're called ratchet straps.
Okay. I just.
Oh, I know. You mean like you would tie something onto a
roof or something. A roof. Yeah.
Does it look like we can safely free her? I'm just wary of.
I think if you've got a knife, you can cut them. But in terms of actually freeing them, they've been locked in place. You'd need to tighten them slightly to be able to get your hand in to make the connection. You can pull the two things to the two. I'm going to call them things. I'm not really sure they're called things together to unloosen it. But if you've got a knife, you can cut it.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
But there is
Yeah,
one
probably
ran around her
reasonable to
feet,
assume
ran her
it's
legs,
a
one ran her throat. That one around her throat is not tight, but it's there. It's kind of secure, and she out cold.
well, okay. Well, there's a chance I might have a pocket knife, but is it?
So chance of pocket knife quite slim. So I'm going to say a 1 on a 1d6. Well, a 1 on 1d6, and you have a pocket knife.
I'll let someone else have a go at that.
So you can all have a go at this because there's a combination of having
Roger did it.
Oh, really? So by
You
sheer chance,
thought we weren't going to get that, didn't you?
by sheer chance, you picked up a number 7 Opinel knife from the supermarket when you bought the burner phones.
Yeah.
A little wooden handled Opinel lock knife.
I just like the way it looked.
That's the most Roger thing I've heard tonight.
Yeah.
Okay, do you know what that's? Do you know what that's going to be the name of the episode?
Yes.
I think is it just look. I like the way it looked.
So you cut her free. It's a brand new knife, so it's the Opinels are razor sharp as when you open them, and then they're blunt from thereafter. But and obviously, as you're cutting them, the tip will always break off because you can never have an Opinel without that. That tip always breaks off. But you free her, but she's unconscious.
Just
Checking her pockets. She doesn't have a phone. She does have her passport in her back pocket and her wallet, which is empty of money. And you do find in her jeans pocket a small plastic bag containing a white powder.
Of course you do.
just give her some water, perhaps.
You can bring her to after giving her some water. She's dehydrated and a bit not quite there. After quite after a while, you wake her up enough to let her know, or for her to tell you. Essentially, Marcus is a
tosser.
a tosser who is much stronger than you thought. He asked her where
with that much stronger thing. I don't like that.
He asked her where the vials were. She didn't have a clue. Told him to fuck off. He punched her in the face, and that's all she remembers. There was a woman. No, there was an African woman. Actually, she says no. There was an African woman. She looked like some kind of weird voodoo bitch. But
I'm sure that's nothing to worry about, is it?
No.
Well, so should we get back to the car? Bit creepy.
There is one other thing to take care of.
Burn the place down.
Does anyone remember what the other thing you had to do?
We had to. Oh, the encased body.
Yeah,
Oh,
the body
it must be in this coffin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The head in amber.
Right.
We got any amber?
Well, it's probably.
It's already in amber, isn't it? We're meant to be retrieving it.
Should we prize?
She said it was a head, and then she also said it was entire body. So
I guess we'll find out.
Should we open it?
Gee, what could possibly go wrong?
So investigating, looking at the coffin, you can see at the top of the coffin there is a hole that has been drilled into the coffin. and then what looks like traces of blood around the edge of the hole.
Hmm. So remind me again, were we supposed to bring back the body to back to the other castle?
No, she said she wanted you to hide it, get rid of it, move it,
Ah,
hide it from Dracula. She
okay.
said.
Right.
I mean, could we justify burning it as getting rid of it, maybe, or hiding it from Dracula? I don't suppose that would go down too well, would it?
Well, it must be this actual coffin, right? So we don't
It's got
Yes.
to be.
Well, because she told, she said that Shirley Dander was in
Shirley
fact
was
tied.
resting on
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm not keen on opening it for some reason.
The most sensible thing you've said tonight. Exactly.
Perhaps we should just take it, hide it somewhere.
Is there?
Without
Did you say
without
there was?
opening it.
Yeah, I think that might be the ideal solution.
That hole, is that perhaps you can put a dowel or something in there that will lock the lid in place or something like that? Is that what it might be for?
But why
It
not?
looks like
You need to lock a coffin.
It looks like somebody's
Well,
been pouring
indeed.
blood into.
Indeed.
I'm sure that can't be necessary. I'm sure
It
we don't
looks
need
like
to lock a
somebody's
coffin.
been
That would be
pouring
ridiculous.
blood into it.
Oh.
Keep it alive inside there. Hmm.
Let me just have a look at this map. So where's this? Is there a body? Is there a body of water nearby that we passed? Maybe.
I don't know. Let's have a look.
Maybe that might be a good place to hide a coffin.
Yeah, dumping bodies into the sea of supernatural iffiness is your raison d'etre at the moment.
Well, perhaps.
One might say our speciality, even.
Yes.
We just need to
It's
hide it.
it's your go-to. Yes.
Yeah,
Now,
but by
obviously,
hiding,
this
what I
thing.
mean is we could literally. I don't think we want to be carting this around with us for too long. So
No.
maybe if we just if we dump it in a lake or something, we can say, well, we hid it. It's in the lake. You didn't say it needed to be somewhere you could get it back from. You just said hide it from Dracula. So, and also,
this thing was
if
hidden.
you dump a vampire into water, traditionally vampires don't like water, right? So if you stick the coffin at the bottom of a lake, that may also serve to keep whatever's in there from getting out.
Yes. The one caveat to that is that this thing she referred to as, in addition to giving you his name, as the Danube strain.
So it might be the Danube would imply maybe he's a bit more comfortable with rivers. But,
Possibly.
but I don't know. Again, like I'm just saying, if the mission is to just simply to to hide it, then we could that'd be a way to hide it rather than to take it with us and put it in a lockup or something.
Yeah, it's as good as any.
But again, it depends if there's anything nearby. I guess that's what I meant. It depends whether there's a serviceable body of water nearby that we could use. But
yeah. So, who has the lowest? What am I looking for? Willpower.
The lowest what? Sorry.
Willpower, not willpower. What's it called? Medic code disguise.
You don't have stats in this, do you? You have,
no, it's who has the lowest sanity?
It's not.
It's not sanity.
I've got 6.
Oh, what's
I've got stability of 6.
That's it, stability. Oh, I think it's called. Who has the lowest stability?
6.
6.
Yeah, I've got 6 as well.
Mike, what have you got in stability?
Where is it? Is it under the
Right hand side of the sheet, down towards the bottom.
Is that under interpersonal? Is that
Yes, I
on-
think so.
I believe so. Yeah.
doesn't actually
No,
say.
general. Under
Yeah.
general, I think.
Did he make? Well, that one's a bit on there. Technical. There we go. Ability 7. That's not me.
Okay, so
In that case, it's
Struan?
Louisa.
So it's Struan
Louisa. Louisa,
Oh, hi.
Yeah, she's got 5.
5. Oh, okay. So you hear a voice.
Should have
hear
kept quiet on that one.
Should hear a voice that is saying, "Help me,
Help
save
me,
me,
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
save me, save me." That nasty man trapped me behind the wall. Help me. I'm going to die. Please help me.
Can I tell which wall?
Oh, so as you came into this, so how much do you? When did you come in?
We've seen somebody tied up in a coffin.
So
Right,
it's
so that-
that's Shirley.
Shirley Dander. You went down into this catacomb, and the right hand wall looked like it was had been put in afterwards. It's something's walled up behind there, and that's where the voice is coming from, emanating from wherever.
I'll go and put my ear up against it.
Okay, as you put your ear up against the wall, you notice that actually, you think with a little bit of effort, you could pull some of these bricks down because it's crumbling, the mortar. So you could actually get in there with a little bit
Go
of
on, then.
effort.
Yeah, that's worth a go. Start doing that.
Okay.
Come on. Put your back into it, boys.
Only you heard the voice, but you are peeling away at this this brickwork, and you pull a largish one, which is kind of offset slightly. As you do that, a large chunk of the wall just kind of collapses down in
God.
front of you, and there's dust everywhere. And as the dust settles,
Did you mention that this was like a national monument or something?
well, yeah. So what you see behind the wall is the desiccated body of a woman that's chained up against the wall, wearing rags, but they look like they were expensive rags, torn clothes that may have been from the 16th century, 16th, 17th, 13th century.
Bloody hell.
So something,
Yes,
something
around the
like
six.
Tudors or
Yes, but this is obviously Slovakian, and then it occurs to you whilst you were trying to figure out the castle, you realise whose castle this is.
Uh-oh.
And you realise the legend and what happened to her. Does anyone want to speculate what they're looking at? You will need a stability roll because obviously there's a dead person behind the wall that's talking to you.
okie dokie.
So you are in.
I'm rolling a dice then if roll 20's down, is it?
No, roll 20 has woken from its
It has
slumber.
awoken.
You are in Castle Catrice, which was Elizabeth Bathory's castle.
Countess Bathory.
And they, as her punishment, they walled her up in the castle cellars.
Bathory. And so she's a.
Was her mouth moving?
Yeah, and a little sharp little teeth. Yeah, you're looking at a vampire that's been
Yeah.
walled up and chained to the walls, and has had her flesh eaten by rats for the last 500 years. 400, I can't count. 400 years.
I think
Ooh,
yes, we should put it. Can we put a out of her misery?
Yeah, I think that might
Any
not be a
wooden
bad
stakes
idea.
about?
sorry, boy, I didn't realise she was a vampire.
But hang on a
So
minute.
everyone
Is
needs.
she trying to put the fluence on Louisa? Did you say?
No. She simply sent out a call for help. She's not hasn't got enough energy or power to take over anybody's body. She needs blood for that. She needs a bit of she has
Here's
not
a
got the
radical. Here's a radical thought. So if we were to I'm not sure how I feel about this, but if we were to release her,
yeah.
is there any? I don't know whether the thing is. I don't know whether you. I don't think you can trust a vampire, right? So if we said to her, "Look, do you swear that you will, that you will be enthralled to us if we release you?" And chances are she's just going to go nuts and just rip our throats out, isn't it? Because you can't trust a vampire. So all right, forget I said
No.
that. Yeah, I think we just finish her.
Interesting.
How are you
I
going
think
to?
Well, we brought the tire iron with us, right? So a tire iron through the chest would probably do the job, right? Because you need to. Or does the stake need to be wooden?
Wooden
so.
stake.
Oh, bollocks.
We look around.
Yeah.
Three chairs.
There's no stakes in the cellar.
What about the kitchen? Sorry.
Oh, we can look around a bit.
It's a ruin. There's no wood.
In that case, there's. Yeah, okay. I mean, is she talkative? Is she,
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
Teeth chattering as she's kind of attempting to.
Actually, don't do that. So now I'm feeling sorry for her.
Oh, you all need to make a stability check.
Okay.
So,
Not getting away with that.
so I can use some of
I'm
my
going to
stability points.
What's the target for that?
The target is. I'm going to say. It's a supernatural creeper.
But she's also fairly pathetic, right? She's
She is fairly pathetic, but it's a talking corpse. So I'm going to say it's a supernatural. So essentially, you just need to roll over 4.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to spend 2 of my stability on that.
But you will lose 3 because it's a supernatural creature up close, up from a distance. But it's quite a pitiful one. But
Yeah, so okay. So I got 6 on my stability.
cool. Everyone else needs to do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna add 2 as well,
Okay.
which takes up to 5.
Yep.
I'm going to add 2 as well. In fact, yeah. Is it enough? Oh, what? That button again.
All good. Now there is no wooden stakes around. There's a wooden coffin, which
could we break?
It's an old. It's an old wooden coffin, and you can see it's.
From that, we don't really want to break it because we don't want to open up the guy who's in there, do we?
No, it's got a shaker quality to it, so you could break it. You could potentially break it and get a stake from it. Otherwise, you could, reattach what they called the ratchet straps, and strap her to the coffin because she's got no strength. She's for 300 years she hasn't eaten. She's just been strapped to a wall, so she's she's undead. But you could drag her out, strap on the coffin, and chuck her in the back of the van.
Take her with.
I say back of the van. It's a 110, so it's going to be a bit of a squeeze with a 8-foot coffin.
Are we going to explain that if we get stopped by the cops?
Well, we can just give the cop to her to feed, can't we?
Yeah. Have at her.
Yeah, why not? Let's just take her with.
If it comes to it.
It's
Sorry,
it's
Copper.
hijinks.
Yeah.
But it's a bit of tomfoolery, love, mate.
Yeah, we're going to fancy dress.
Yeah.
Uh,
April Fool. So she's done, there's nothing to her. She's not got the strength to attack you. She's on her last legs because she's just all withered away skin and shriveled skin, and she can the joints are dried up quite a bit, so she's not really got any oomph, no magical ability, no supernatural ability per se. So you manage to drag her out, and she doesn't bite any of you. She doesn't even get a chance to bite any of you. But you strap her to the coffin. So you have a vampire strapped to the coffin and a vampire potentially, or body of a vampire in the
I'm not
coffin.
being funny, right? This is Romania. They're probably used to this shit, aren't they? Or Slovakia. They're probably used to. They probably see coffins strapped to these things all day long. So I can't imagine it'd be a surprise.
So
No.
you can imagine we get stopped and they like peer in, look at in the back of where the
They take a step back and just
looks-
wave
look-
you on.
well, yeah, or looks back at you and says, "Put your seatbelt on."
Not another
Wave you
bloody.
on.
Yeah. They're like not another bloody undead.
Yeah, I'm not writing that up. Fuck off, though. Yeah. So you have to. It's not too hard to get the coffin out of the cell, but you do manage to get it to the back of the Land Rover. Land Rover's a 110, so that 110. Whilst it's a 12-seater, you've got 2 seats in the front, then a bench of 3 seats, then the remaining 2 kind of little benches at the back. If you fold the front seat down and the middle section seats down, you can get the coffin in, but everyone has to sit around the coffin at the back who's not driving. So it's a bit of a squeeze, but you can just about get everyone in. Just.
Road trip.
And you
Another
begin to
one.
head off. But where are you going?
We just need some schnapps now.
Shots. But where are you going? Dan is woken up, and she's kind of let you know that obviously Marcus is a wrong, and he was rambling on about being an agent of Edom, whatever that is, and that they were in big trouble, and he wanted the vials. But she said she had no idea what you'd done with the vials because she couldn't give a toss what you were dicking around with medicals, and don't remember what Jackson Lamb never told her what you did with the vials.
Well, I could just drive back to the UK potentially. Do we have more
Well,
business?
did the voice
nothing to declare.
Did the voice in the? I take it we should probably go back to the castle in Austria, right? Because did the voice give us any instructions as to what to do once we actually had this?
Hide it from Dracula.
Fine, that's it. Okay, so that as we go back to Plan A, then, which was to ditch it in a bloody lake or something. And then obviously we've got a new recruit for our excellent team. But no, as I say, it's so yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah, she did say, didn't she, to hide the hide the cars, hide the coffin. So we should probably do that first.
So you also, in addition to everything else that's going on, you remember that you've got information about an archaeological dig that's Lou Lou. The woman that you rescued from Marrakesh had said that they were trying to dig something up in Romania.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, you're in the area. No, you're not. You're quite a distance away. So, what in terms of where you are? Is there a lake nearby?
I mean, there's got to be a chance to be some sort of because we've driven into this region, right? So we just go. Well, didn't we go over a bridge like a few miles back, and there's a river or something, or a lake, or a I guess it's not too far outside the realms of possibility that there's some reasonable body of water nearby.
Just as a matter of interest, and because nobody wants it, the designation Land Rover 110 is the wheelbase.
Yeah.
It's how many inches between the wheelbase?
Yeah, so you've got the big one, not the 90, the 110, the bigger one.
No, there is a bigger one. There's a 127 stroke 130.
Yeah, you got the 110.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so in that case, plenty of room for a corpse and a
a
coffin and an undead corpse. Perfect.
Oh, and if we zoom out, there is not.
There's not a lot of big bodies of water.
Nope.
There
are
isn't.
small ones.
Damn it.
Oh, what's that one down there? Is there the one down there? What's Bratislava? No, that's not one there. That's no. Czech Republic. No.
All joking aside, Roger makes a good point that we obviously want to try and ditch this thing relatively rapidly, because if we do, it does look pretty damn suspicious having a having a coffin strapped to the roof. So I guess we probably do realistically need to get rid of it. And
there isn't a giant body of water near you. The Adriatic looks like it's the closest.
Okay, so what's the other alternatives then? So I mean, what's this? I mean, is can we find a barn or a? Because the point is, it just needs to be somewhere other than where it was, right?
Yeah.
If we're hiding
somewhere where
we just need to put
she
it
doesn't know
where
where it is.
Yeah.
So
what's the nearest? What's the nearest town to where we are?
Sorry, what was it? Castle Karnstein or something?
So that's the other one. You are in Kachisi. So there are a number of towns nearby, but is that close? That too close? Kachisi is nearer.
Let's see, castles. Oh, I can't find it. Good. Sorry, could you spell it again? K-A-T...
Cachtic.
Oh, Gotcha.
E.
Slovakia. Right. Now we're talking.
So yeah, you do have a problem. You need to. There is no. Oh no, actually, in De Brinky. So if you're looking directly in the centre of the map at Catrice Castle, up to the left there are a couple of lakes. Up to the right there is a lake, or is a small body of water.
Yeah.
So let's have a look at that. So
what do the rest of you think about this notion, though, of the of a body of water? Does that seem like a sensible option?
The only thought I would have is, didn't you say it was?
Yeah, it's the Danube strain.
It's a Danube strain.
You're right, but I mean,
the only thing that worries me.
The guy's still in his coffin, isn't he? So
yeah, but maybe water at home, mate. Water's not going to restrain him in any way.
Fair
That's
enough.
That's my only thought. Because the idea is there's no point chucking him to the bottom of a lake if the lake's going to not stop him getting out of it.
The caveat to that is when she told you to get rid of it, she didn't say, get rid of it, but do not put him in water, or do not feed. There was no...
Do not feed after midnight.
After midnight, yeah. There was no specific do not do's.
Right.
No, she just said, get rid of it. So, or hide it, I should say.
Okay.
It's about, I'm going to say it's 1:15 as you drive off. You've been there about 45 minutes, maybe an hour, as you drive off the mountain. And you're heading up the road.
Wait a minute, no one said anything about driving off no mountain.
As you're driving down the road, I'm assuming Struan's driving in. You can see the lights of a helicopter hovering over the castle. It wasn't there when you left.
Well, that's not
Seriously,
good.
I would seriously think about turning the lights off. We're driving at night. If we've got the lights on, turn them off.
Are you going to turn the lights off?
I'm going to reach over and turn the lights off.
I don't know though, because if I mean, this is not. We're not in. What's the word I'm looking for? You know, we're not in out of Mongolia. We're in like, you know, Europe. So there will be other cars about. So I don't know whether it's the most. I don't know if I'm more worried about a helicopter seeing me or driving off a cliff.
Mm.
I mean, okay, fine. Yeah, we'll turn the lights off for now.
Even if
Are
it's
you heading
dark up.
towards the lake?
Well,
Dubnik.
we'll head down that direction because I mean, once we're a distance away, this helicopter's over the castle. You said, right? So once we're a couple of miles away, then
Yeah.
I'll turn the lights back on because there's no
The
benefit.
further you get, you see the helicopter. Those looking at the back see the helicopter land in the grounds of the castle.
Okay, yeah. So we'll just keep driving.
You've not seen this type of helicopter before. It doesn't jump out as being obviously a Western Lynx or a that big Russian thingy or a Black Hawk or a stealthy Black Hawk. You don't kind of recognise the helicopter.
Okay.
But you head out and nobody follows you. As you get into the town of Easter Honeywood, no, whatever that town is, the town close to Dubnik, you can see there are lots of other cars. It's 1:30, 2:00 in the morning, but there are cars mulling around. The helicopter, you can see in the distance, the helicopter is has been circling, not where you are, but it's been circling around, and then flies off in a southeasterly direction
Got it.
towards, I don't know, Ukraine, Crimea, the Black Sea.
Right. Yeah, and it looks like by Dubnik that body of water has got roads all the way around the perimeter, basically.
Yep. And it's a beauty spot, so it is deserted at this time of night. You can see there's a number of boats on the shore, and you think you could probably get the coffin onto one of the longer boats and row out. Now, given you are expert rowers, as we established a while ago,
Last time, yeah.
Well, we can drive we can paddle canoes.
Yep.
I wouldn't call that rowing.
No. So you manage to get, if you want to, you can manage to get the canoe, this large boat, out to the centre of the lake and drop the coffin and Bethany into the lake.
I think. I mean, do we do? Okay, so here's the thing: do we drop it into the middle of the lake, or do we put it near to an edge so that if we have to retrieve it, we can retrieve it? Or can we make some sort of? Is there a landmark or something we can? Because I'm just thinking, sod's law, we'll do all this, and she go, actually, when I wanted you to bring it back.
So I'm going to say, just looking at the map, that there is a small.
What we call GM bullshit, right, Kev?
Yeah, let's go some jumbo shit. Yes,
GM
so there is a little island.
No, actually, you want it to bring it. Okay.
In the centre of the lake, there is an island. There's a picture of a dog, but in the distance, there's like a small island.
Okay.
You could row out to the island and stuff the whole thing in reeds around the back of the island, but it's deep enough that I'm going to let you know where it is, but not it not be obvious. It takes a
Yeah, 'cause
little
again,
while for the water to seep into the coffin to sink it down, but once it's full, it sinks to the ground. It's such a heavy, dense wood,
yeah, it'll just settle down and be out of sight. So now, what do you chaps
and
think? Is that sensible or?
Yeah.
Bethany's rambling, and you think she's swearing at you in whatever language she's speaking. As she sinks down into the depths of the lake.
Hang on a minute. Did we say we were sinking? We never said we were sinking her, did we?
Oh,
She's still
Sinking the
strapped to the boat.
coffin.
sorry.
I was getting quite attached to her. I
Uh,
mean,
Unless you would
no, but you know what though? Actually, no. Having said that, let's remember because we're on now. You said that there's reeds. I think we actually stake her because we've got no excuse now not to find a bit of wood because we're in the middle of nature. So I think
Okay,
let's not do that. Let's just find a stick. You know, we'll get a branch or something and we'll just finish her off.
yeah, yes. Okay, that will be quite simple to do. That's not going to be any hardship. You leave her staked. You're going to chuck her body into the lake, or are you going to?
You mean her body doesn't disappear in a puff of smoke?
No.
Okay. I mean, we probably just again hide the body as best we can, but
Okay, putting it in two separate locations. You sink both.
are any of us are any of us religious out of interest or not?
no.
Didn't know whether we
Not
say
as I would
a
probably
few
say
words.
so.
Not since the fucking vampires turned up.
Fair point. I'm just saying, I feel a bit bad for it. You know, it wasn't much of a life, was it?
I don't know, bathing in the blood of virgins for a few.
Well, you know, that's just social media. You know, we don't know the truth of it.
Well,
you truly cancelled this bitch.
Yeah.
it was the alternative to give her just a little bit of blood so that she feels a bit better. And
You've literally just stabbed her for the heart. You've destroyed her. She is permanently dead, but her
No.
body remains intact.
no,
Yeah, okay.
I realized that. I was just wondering what else we might have done.
You could have resurrected her, but you know she's of her own free will. She'd have, as the blood flowed through her body, she would have killed you all, or taken you
Yeah,
as
that was my thing.
thrall.
I was all for, you know, on the one hand I was thinking, oh, we could be, you know, could use
She's got a
her.
couple hundred years of rage.
She's a vampire. She's just gonna slaughter us all. So let's not
Yeah,
pretend.
she's got a couple of 100 years of pent up rage.
It's not
being
gonna end well.
walled up by men. So yeah, she's not really happy with you guys.
It ain't gonna end well. So I think we did the right thing.
No.
And we did the right thing for her, probably.
Yeah. So
ended her suffering.
you make your way back to the shore and get in the Land Rover. And I think actually that's a good place to stop to give you an opportunity to decide what or where you're going to go next. Because you're burnt.
Yep.
Slough House is compromised. They've gone and they are underneath the dolphins. Underneath the dolphin, sorry.
Ah, the dolphin. Okay, that means more.
Yes. The thing that jumps to mind is Dolphin Court.
That's someone's address.
Yeah, Dolphin Court in London, in Pimlico, no less.
Is that a pub?
Hang on a minute. Isn't Pimlico or that where we found the barrel?
Could be. No, Clerkenwell. That's
That
near
was
Pimlico.
Clerkenwell, yeah.
So yes, I think that kind of works as a good spot to leave it.
So let's just just generally speaking, then, we've done what we were asked to do. We've retrieved Shirley.
Yeah.
We know that Marcus. It sounds like Marcus is dodgy, working for Edom.
Yep.
So maybe our next move, should we try and maybe go to? So we're in. What's the capital of Slovakia? Because we're in Slovakia now at the moment, right?
Yeah.
Bratislava?
Yeah.
It could be Bratislava. Now you've got those crazy Russian mafia types that were linked to were linked to the guy that you're supposed to be going to.
Now, what I was going to say
meet.
was because we've been told that Slough House has been burned. So I wonder
Yeah.
whether we should go to the British Embassy, because we are government. I mean, we forget this. We are actually government employees, aren't we? So I
Yeah.
wonder whether our next move should be. We need to try and find out whether Slough House has things have been compromised. So maybe we go. But the only problem with that is if we do that, of course, then we do reveal ourselves. So if we are, I don't know. What do you chaps think? Part of me thinks we should take the legit route and go to the. But then maybe we shouldn't. Maybe we should head back to try and figure out this dolphin underneath the dolphins reference.
You had a bunch of other leads: Gibraltar, Crimea, and there was a place in Romania, and obviously the Russian goon that you killed in the marsh, or you're allowed to die in the marsh, had talked about giant helicopters, and heavy lift planes, and the snowmobile, the Snowpiercer thing being taken to the Ural Mountains.
Yeah, I think our priority though needs to be to find out what's going on with our with Slough House, because that's our base. That's our boss. So I think we need to try and figure that out before we go running off on some other errand.
Yes. We sort of, you'd expect we'd have to report back anyway.
Exactly.
So find a safe house and make contact with Roddy.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Just another thought.
Yeah.
Something you just said triggered it. You mentioned about large helicopters.
Yeah.
And you said there was a helicopter that was flying over the castle. Was
No,
that
different
fairly large?
No, different helicopter. Different helicopter.
No, yeah, but what I'm saying is, you said there was a large helicopters that they were
No,
using.
it's almost Westland size.
Right,
almost Sea-King size.
So it's not. Yeah, so it's not. And these are not the ones that he was referring to. The other helicopters.
There was a Russian experimental helicopter, heavy lift thing with like a Chinook, but the helicopters were on the side rather than the front.
Is that the one that had the frames out? It's got the helicopter.
Yeah.
It's got the rotors either side as opposed to forward and aft.
Yep.
The one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called. I'm going to go back and look for that. Yes, that was
that. We'll have a look. But
so yeah, regroup somewhere. Make contact.
Find a safe house. So, in which case you can drive to into Dubnik. There is we'll call it a kind of a hotel, and you can get 2 rooms there.
Hotel in where? Which?
Dubnik. Dubnik.
Oh, there, right, where we are. No, okay. Cool. And
it's an MIL V12 airlift, and it airlifted the snow cruiser from the Anatoliv airport and towards Russia. The big aircraft had put on.
A MIL V12, is it?
Yep.
MIL V12. Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. That's a big fucker.
Yeah. Well, the snow thing has been stuck in the ice for a long time. It didn't.
When you say that helicopter was like a cargo guy's helicopter.
Yeah.
I wonder if they were coming for the coffin. That's what they were
Mhm.
hoping to retrieve.
So is that what
Awesome.
was flying? Is that V12? Is that what was flying over the
No,
over the castle? Or no?
no,
The other one
No,
was just like a standard helicopter. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Black Ops kind of helicopter.
Yeah. Sort of Black Hawk size then.
So I think that we'll leave it there, because that kind of feels like a good point. And then anything you spent up to now, you can regain for next session. That feels like a good moment to end a kind of a sequence.
excellent stuff. Enjoyed
Thank
that. Creepy castles. That's now you're talking.
Yeah. So in essence, the woman, the receptionist, was Carmilla's African mage, who cast effectively a sleep spell on you as you spoke. That's why you had no chance to get round that, because you have no experience of magic whatsoever. I wouldn't know somebody casting magic on you. It's not like if it was hypnotism, because you've had a small amount of experience with hypnotism in Marrakesh, but also
In London as well.
and in London you had the ghost jumping in the body. You've a little bit of experience, so you would have got a chance to. That's kind of obvious. Somebody going, look into my eyes, kind of thing. But magic
No, I think
Magic
that's perfectly reasonable.
doesn't
Yeah,
exist.
I mean, total sense.
Magic doesn't exist.
No,
Also,
that's
I quite like the idea of that. You go, okay, well, we're going to the receptionist. You're waking up in a stone room. Like, what the fuck? What? That's not fair. Not that. But yeah, and she did it twice. So the flash of light was a cast because she'd pre-prepared the spell. So couldn't have done it a third time because we've got to spend quite amount of magic points to do that. So kind of called your bluff on a simple spell. But yeah, that kind of worked quite well.
That was cool.
Good.